All right, Arsenal is back to winning terms. There for you. After spending 2 games drawing, drawing away at a team known as Brentford, I think that was 1-1, drawing away at Wolverhampton Wanderers 2-2, they are back to winning ways. In a game that really had a lot of odds, that you would obviously think that Arsenal will not obviously come and obviously walk away with these maximum points out of this game, because we knew to it that they had sacked the previous manager at the club of Tottenham Hotspur, and guess who was in charge? It was none other than the manager, the new manager, Hugo Tudo, with huge experience from Juventus and on and so forth. Then we expected a new manager bounce, because it is really obviously seen. And you saw to it that at halftime, the new manager bounce looks like it was obviously going to come up and obviously affect this result. And secondly, this is a North London derby. Guys, this is a North London derby, and you know exactly what the North London derby is. And thirdly, Arsenal had gone ahead to beat this side of Tottenham Hotspur 3 times consecutively, right, at this stadium. So everyone thought that there had to be a counter reaction, and these people had to come up and obviously put out a very huge fight to see to it that all goes on well for the manager, and they would do the needful in there for you. So full time, Tottenham Hotspur 1, Arsenal 4. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys, and who are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're totally watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is my name, and hope you guys are really having super fun in here onto our beautiful channel, and continue to subscribe because we want to hit 29,000 subscribers, and we're here with what we call the match reaction. This video is powered by St. Maria Goret SS Katende, O and L level admissions open. You can call them on that number +256, right? 702-478-536. All email them at stmariagoretis@gmail.com, or really visit that website, and you will obviously see your child enjoy a very huge kind of school. And he will come back in the holidays. Even when you go to the visitation day and visit him, he or she will tell you that this is one of the big schools that you've obviously got here to bring me on. It's built on a Catholic foundation. That is it. So let's leave it at that, and let's get into this game of football and break it down in there. Now, first and foremost, I don't want to see anyone changing his statement. I don't want to see anyone, right, shifting goalposts, and I hate it. I've seen very many people come out and say that Arsenal is obviously going to be losing the trophy. It's done and dusted. It's over. There is no way they can obviously recover. If they've gone ahead to lose or to draw away at Wolverhampton Wanderers, a team that is sitting on the bottom of the Premier League table, how will they come and obviously beat Tottenham Hotspur? You understand? And they are playing away from home. You get? You people have been there obviously saying what you're saying, and I was like, do these people know the game? This is a very huge advantage for the club of Arsenal that many people never really knew. I think yesterday when I was doing that live of Man City, I really hinted onto it that where we are right now, you rather drop points now. I don't drop them as we head into March. Because March, whoever will drop points will have gone ahead selling the trophy to the other team. That is it. So, you said others were like, Arteta should be sacked. And I'm like, where do these people really watch this game from? I understand. We all have different opinions, but for God's sake, why would one sack Mikel Arteta? I'm asking. Why would one even think of firing Mikel Arteta? What has he gone ahead to do wrong? I think he has gone ahead to do everything in his means to give Arsenal the required position. You get? And for this particular season, I don't think that Arteta stopped the board from obviously getting him a player when Mikel Merino went ahead to get injured, But I think the board was like, let's use these players that we have because we want to bring in Sandro Tonali, you get? That is in the in the summer transfer window. So, who is to blame? but the man is punching above his weight. So, Arsenal have gone ahead to win this game of football comfortably and very convincing. In the 32nd minute, Bukayo Saka ran off to the towards the byline and put in a very beautiful cross with his right foot. And I really liked the first touch of Ebelechi Eze for that ball, because he had a lot of space. He never hit that ball instantly, because very many defenders were like knowing he's going to be hitting that ball in the back of the net instantly, such that they obviously went ahead to really put their blocks. And guess what he did? He damaged all them with his first touch that really saw the ball lift a little bit, and he went in for volley into the back of the net. 32nd minute, Arsenal were into the celebrations. But 2 minutes later, Declan Rice went ahead to give away the ball, and obviously Randall Colmouani went ahead to level up, and the first half ended 1-1. So Declan Rice was onto the giving side and Spurs was onto the receiving side, and it really went at halftime as 1-1. But me as a person who was watching this game keenly, who has been watching these London derbies, the previous 3 ones, that were really very intense. Remember, the first one that Arsenal went ahead to win, it was in the season of 2022-2023. You remember? I think they won it by 1-0. Arsenal had last won at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I think, in 2014, 2015? I think by then even Mikel Arteta was still the manager of Arsenal. If I'm not mistaken, I stand to be corrected in there if I haven't gone ahead to get my years right. But it was close to, were they 7? It was like 8 years. I think 2014. You get? They come, I think it was Thomas Partey who came up with that only goal, and then they went ahead to beat them, I think, 2-0, and last season they went ahead obviously beat them too. So Arsenal, I think 2022-2023, Arsenal beat them 2-0. The following season of 2023-2024, Arsenal beat them 1-0, and even last season Arsenal went there and obviously beat them. Was it 1-0? Maybe there. You get? So, Arsenal has shown all the intent that we're obviously going to be coming up and obviously putting out a very huge fight, Now, they went to halftime when the game was 1-1, but according to how this game really looked, Arsenal really looked better than the previous 3 seasons. So they won, but I don't think that their winning was convincing, But this time round, Arsenal was playing at a level that shows that Arsenal is levels to Spurs. That is it. And that's how it really went down at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They went to halftime and they returned. 46 minutes, we started off the second half, right? And it took Arsenal 16 minutes, to see, not 16. It took Arsenal 2 minutes into the second half. Julian Timber played into Victor Gyökeres, and Victor Gyökeres went ahead to obviously take a very good first touch and hit that ball into the back of the net. One thing I've gone ahead to like about this guy is that even if when he's really placing that ball in the far bottom corner or mid corner or top corner, he puts in that ball with a lot of energy that the goalkeeper cannot even come close to that. You remember what he did at first? Do you remember what he did at first? It was Rice who went ahead to obviously release him in. He dropped the shoulder onto the left, got space, and hit that ball, and it missed out to really gate into the back of the net by a fraction. You remember? And that goal shows you, that second goal, the first goal for Gyökeres, and for the second goal for Arsenal, and for the third goal in that game, shows you how this guy is a very beautiful finisher. That get him chances, you will get goals from this guy. That is it. Get him chances, you will get goals from this guy, known as Victor Gyökeres, I tell you. And that's exactly what this guy went ahead to do as Victor Gyökeres, and went ahead to give Arsenal a lead in there for you for the second time. Then, 14 minutes later, Ebelechi Eze went ahead to obviously capitalize onto the selfish effort of Bukayo Saka that failed to go in. And Saka hit that ball, and it ricocheted off the goalkeeper in the vicinity, all into the vicinity of Ebelechi Eze, and Ebelechi Eze went ahead to obviously put that ball in the back of the net. That was 3-1 at 61 minutes. 1 minute past the hour mark, Arsenal was counting 3-1. Then, in the 90th plus 4th minute, obviously, Odegaard, whom people have gone ahead to criticize, he doesn't create for Gyökeres. We know he can. We know he can. And we know one of his biggest attributes as a man, known as Victor, known as Martin Odegaard. And he came up and obviously released him. And when he released him, went ahead and obviously used the body of the Tottenham Hotspur on his left as a leaning wall, and obviously went ahead to bury that ball in the back of the net to see to it that he completes his brace as his fellow Arsenal man had gone ahead to do before. And who are we talking about? We are talking about a man called Ebelechi Eze. Those are 5 assists for a player known as Martin Odegaard. And when you go to a player known as Gyökeres, right? I told you that the guy can even score 20 goals in the Premier League, and you guys were like, Rokani, you are lying. How can that happen? How can it happen? Now, how many goals does this guy have? In 25 Premier League games, in 25 Premier League matches, he has 10 goals. That is Victor Gyökeres. Today, he has gone ahead to score another brace. And remember, in the last game that Arsenal won, this guy came up and scored a brace. It was against Sunderland. Now he's having 10 goals in there. And whoever is doubting that this guy can obviously go ahead and really score those goals, you are joking, because the guy is left with just 10 games. 10 games. And what does the stats show? The stats show that many goals are scored, right? Many goals are scored in the second half of the season than the first half of the season. That is it. That's why you saw to it that in the entire games that he played, ever since the season started, the first 19 games that Arsenal played, I think he had were they 4 goals? Now, in this entire year, Gyökeres has gone ahead to score, I think, 6. And he can even score 10, because goals get into the back of the nets of teams a lot in this half, I tell you. So, don't joke with Victor Gyökeres. He'll obviously go ahead and obviously net in those goals. And I've always told people, I even have my friend called Hero. She supports Man City. We always have an argument with Hero. Hero always tells me that it's Man City that I'm telling him, the trophy is for Arsenal. You get? So that is it in there. So, we do have Ebelechi Eze making stats. This guy went ahead to score a hat-trick against Tottenham Hotspur at the Emirates, and here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, he has gone ahead to obviously put in another one. And this is what the stats told us. When he scored the first goal, he made 4 goals in the North London Derby. And Opta told us that Ebelechi Eze is only the second player to score 4+ goals in North London derbies in a league season. After Arsenal's Ted Drake in 1934 to 1935, he had 5. This counts for 80% of Eze's Arsenal goal total in the Premier League. 4 out of 5 in there for you. Then when he scored the second one, that means he took his tally to 5 in the North London Derby. And they told us that only Robert Perez 7 and Emmanuel Adebayo 6 have more Premier League goals for Arsenal against Tottenham Hotspur than Ebelechi Eze, who now has as many goals in his league fixture for the Gunners as both Thierry Henry and Robin van Persie managed. Favorite. You understand? So the lad is really doing great. And I think he's unlocking himself at a very good time. I'm talking about Ebelechi Eze, because you need him to obviously erupt at this level. And in his number 10 position, you've seen him do the needful. And we think he'll obviously continue to do the needful. He now has... he can't be having 4 Premier League goals. Ebelechi Eze, I've seen him score against. He scored a hat-trick. Guys, let me look at Arsenal players' goals in the Premier League. These guys are really... It's not yet updated, because all I know, he must He must be having like six minimum of 6 or 7 goals. Let me go to the Premier League and obviously check here. When you look at players in here, Eze, he scored against Crystal Palace at Emirates. I remember that very well. He really did. He really did. Right? He really did. He scored a hat trick. Those are 4 goals. That's going to hit to score 2. That means those are really 6 in there. So, we wait and see, because this list needs to be updated. Premier League top scorers. Twenty 2025, 2026. Let's roll in and see how it's really happening. All right. Eze is having 6 goals, right? I was right. I was right. And Gyökeres now has 10. And you see to it that Erling Haaland is having 22. Igor Thiago is having 17. Now, this, if you really get your number 9 firing in like this, it's really a blessing to you. And I think Arsenal fans are really excited about this. So, we head into how this game of football happened in stats, right? I remember I'd called in for a 2-1 win for the club of Arsenal, right? But they've gone ahead to obviously put out a very huge show in here that you have to respect them for. They've gone ahead to put 4. They scored 4 at Emirates for 0, and here they've gone ahead to score 4-1. 6 shots by Spurs, 20 by Arsenal. It shows you how hugely Arsenal went ahead to dominate this game. 5 shots on target by Spurs, and Arsenal had 6 shots on target, and out of the 6, 4 were on target, but that means they lacked composure in front of goal. 40% ball possession by Spurs. That means Arsenal walked away with the ball possession of 60%, dominating to the fullest in there. And 75% passing accuracy for the club of Tottenham Hotspur. Arsenal had 86% passing accuracy, and Spurs put together 310 passes, and Arsenal put together 451 passes. 16 fouls by the club of Spurs and 11 fouls by the club of Arsenal. 2 yellow cards to the side of Tottenham Hotspur and 1 to the side of Arsenal. No red cards issued in there for you. To either sides, no offsides. 2 corners to the side of Spurs and 5 corners to the club of Arsenal in there for you. Arsenal are still looking deadly in those set pieces, though they've not gone ahead to obviously, I think, use a set piece to score a goal today. But I tell you what, they really look deadly in there for you. From there, let's head to the table, Premier League table, and see how it's indeed looking like. Now, Arsenal has gone ahead to play 28 games. They now have a game in hand, and they've gone ahead to obviously have 61 points. Now, look at the number of goals scored. If they tie, then we'll go to the goals scored. If it's here like you see there, then we go to because it's 56-56, Man City is having 56 goals scored and Arsenal having 56. Then we go to when they met, who beat the other. So that is how things are really tying up, and it's really growing tight. Now, when you look at Arsenal, they are left with 10 games, meaning that if at all they win those 10 games they're left with, they can only maximally hit 91 points, And for the side of Man City, if they win their 11 games, they can only have 99 points. Right? So, City has a game in hand and they're having 56 points. Aston Villa is having 27 games, 51 points. Chelsea, 27 games, 45. Man United, 26 games, having 45. United is playing Everton tomorrow night. Liverpool, 27 games, they're having 45 points in there. And Brentford, they're having 40 points in there. So that's how the Premier League table is really looking. But we are heading into our next set of games where City is going to be playing away. And you have to congratulate the club of Arsenal because it has gone ahead to play 3 consecutive games away. You get 3 away games consecutively. You get? You have to give them a very huge big up as a club of Arsenal for what they've gone ahead to do. So that is it. And that's how things really went down at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We'll be returning with the player ratings. Thank you for watching in through. I'm out. Bye-bye.